Welcome back. JC Good became a victim of distracted driving when she was just starting life. Her story serves to let people know that it's not okay to drive distracted, and that taking your focus off the road for even a few seconds can have a huge impact on the lives of others.
So the date was May 18th of 2008, and it was my college graduation morning. Everything I had always worked for, and real life was right around the corner, and I had a job with Habitat for Humanity, and I was so excited to really finally be starting life. And my parents and I just had this easy hour-and-a-half drive to get home, and we got about halfway home, and we came to a green light. We were going south, one lane each direction, 45 miles an hour, really easy road, and we came to this green light. At the same time, an 18-wheeler came to the green light just opposite us. And at the same time, there was an 18-year-old young man on the intersecting road who came to a red light, but he was just talking on his phone and never even saw the red light. He turned left into the intersection, and the tractor trailer swerved to try and miss him, but swerved in the oncoming lane of traffic and hit our car head on. Both my parents were killed, dead, pronounced dead on the scene. And I was on the brink of death and remained that way for months. My parents were just such wonderful people. Just always trying to do good for the world, helping in soup kitchens, helping Boy Scouts earn their merit badges, just always busy trying to do something to make the world a little bit better place. My mom was the awesome 8th grade English teacher and so many students' favorite teacher. I'm in touch with many of them. And this happened on Sunday, May 18th, and the next day was Monday, May 19th. And on that day, 313-year-old kids came to school to learn that Mrs. Good had a substitute teacher because she was dead. I know the school had to bring in extra guidance counselors. Those kids all had to go home to get support from their parents and their loved ones. I just got to speak at the school where my mom taught. The students she had in 2008 in 8th grade are now seniors. And I never thought I would hug so many crying 18-year-olds, that it's still impacting their lives today, that they just miss, so many of them said, I miss her smiling face so much, that she was always smiling, and it's still impacting their lives. My injuries were immense. I had 2 broken feet, a broken wrist, broken collarbone, broken tibia, broken fibula, shattered pelvis, lacerated liver, partially collapsed lungs, damaged carotid arteries, and a traumatic brain injury. I believe the neurologist gave me a 10% chance of surviving that night. And I just kept hanging on. There was no real explanation for what brought me through, but I just kept beating all the odds. When I got out of the hospital, I was 22 years old, walked with a cane, could barely walk. I had a buzz cut. People like to stare at people who look different, and I was embarrassed and self-conscious, but I knew there was a story there, and I knew I could hopefully impact people if they met a real person who's been impacted by this. And wearing this, I added this sign, and wearing this sign gets me stopped on the street very often, and I just hope that for some of those people, meeting a real person impacted by cell phones on the road can hopefully change just one. I just want to change their behavior. 6 months after I'd gotten out of the hospital, and I had been reading about the crash and learning what had happened because I just needed to know everything. I thought I had been driving. I thought I did this to myself and to my parents, but as I learned, my dad had been driving, hadn't done anything wrong. But as I read and learned everything that happened, I also learned that there were no criminal charges against either of the other drivers because it happened in Pennsylvania, where there are no laws regarding cell phones and driving, so the judge didn't even try and prosecute the other drivers. And I was absolutely furious. I just wanted Pennsylvania to be on track, be ahead of the curve even, in getting a law against this, so that it's illegal to kill someone if you're doing something we know is dangerous. So I just told my story at a press conference in the state capital of Harrisburg, just trying to get a law passed. And things just kept getting bigger and bigger, from being with the Secretary General at the United Nations to being on Oprah, getting to do all these awesome experiences and just going wherever I can to try and stop this horrible pain that it's 100% preventable from entering anyone else's life. Being an advocate on this issue is the only way I know how to cope with my parents' deaths, just trying to give some kind of meaning to their deaths, because they're not dead so that that kid could have a conversation, and I just need to give them meaning, and that's why I'm doing the work I'm doing, to try and stop this pain from entering anyone else's life. It's 100% preventable, and it just does not need to be happening. Strict laws that are enforced need to be in place in every single state. If we can get the Bluetooth out of the car, it would be awesome. If we can just pay attention to driving when we're driving, that's what needs to happen. And laws aren't the entire solution. They're a step in the right direction, but it needs to come with the education so that we can make the cultural change and make it socially unacceptable to be talking on the phone. That if you pick up the phone in your home and someone says, "Oh, I just wanted to catch up on my way to the grocery store," just hang up the phone immediately and tell them to drive. That is just not okay, something that's not okay to do. And, we're kind of starting to get there with drunk driving. It's not cool to go out and get wasted and get behind the wheel of a car, and your friends don't let you do it, and cell phones need to be the exact same thing. That is just not okay to do.
Unfortunately, JC's story is one of many, but hopefully her words can serve as a reminder for us whenever we think of doing something behind the wheel besides driving. We'll be right back after the break.